Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. This is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads.
Very factual, very clear deadlines. But yes, there's more work to be done.
I actually think that who they're talking to there is the competition. And I'll tell you what, you find another tech company that's as open as them and I'll eat my hat, literally.
My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, the creative effectiveness ad tech platform. But this week is about an Apple ad, and it's very long. And we've got two sort of ex-advertisers watching ads this week. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Scott Morrison. I run a company called The Boom, formerly an ad person, then ran big brands across the world, now work with big brands across the world, helping them create impact via Unblock, Unlock, Unleash.
And I'm Emma Roffey, having recently left the corporate world of Cisco for the past 20 years, deciding on what to do, but currently working on an enterprise SaaS startup, which is very exciting.
Fantastic. Right. I can't show you the whole ad today because it's so flipping long, but I'm going to do a cool little edit of all the good bits. So you can go and check out the full link another time. It needs a score out of 5. 1, 2, 3. Vote with your fingers. 5 and a 4. Right, Scott, I'm dying to know what you think of this ad.
Well, listen, I've started talking about this phenomenon called the very hungry audience. And it's something born from the fact that smartphones have powered up our expectations and they've got to such heights that we now sort of hunger and gorge on seamlessness of information, I think is relative to brands and services, in this kind of vain hope that the more of it we have, the more beautiful the butterfly will become. And I think Apple know this, right? They know, I think they make products seamless. And I think in this video, what they're doing is they're serving up this platter of information that is there to sate that hungry audience. From my perspective, what Apple has done here is open themselves up to scrutiny and environmental credentials. And actually, if you look at CDP, right, CDP are this kind of business that look at how people give environmental disclosure. Only 1.3% of the businesses in £11 trillion worth of business or dollars actually do that. And I'll tell you what, you find another tech company that's as open as them and I'll eat my hat, literally.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The story is so complex and there's so much cynicism out there about it. And I love the fact that they addressed all of the points with humor. They hit it really hard, nail on the head, and with some concrete facts and concrete data. But what I loved about it most is the cynicism, and it's addressing that cynicism head on, which is brave to do. It allows them to make very strong, concrete points that are very exciting. And yes, the competition should learn from that as well. Everybody should. The commitments that they're making in the time frame they're making. And then at the end, I love it at the end of the future product as well. It's fantastic storytelling. Yeah.
Who's this trying to convince?
I actually think that who they're talking to there is the competition. You know, this kind of ongoing thing with Apple, you know, they've always had Apple versus PC. I think it's a nuance of that campaign because actually, think about it. It's a beautiful piece of storytelling. It's shot in. Apple now are a content provider as well as anything else. They're not just a machine maker. And then you kind of position that against some of their other competition, and it feels very, very different. No one else is saying, these are our credentials. This is what we're doing here. This is what we're openly talking about. Okay, they might be doing it, but I don't know if they're talking about it in lay people's terms like Apple are and doing it in the brand way that reinforces all the brand values that Apple always brings to the table.
They are doing it at the brand level. But what I'm particularly impressed at is at that higher level, but it covers so much of the story. You know, from their buildings, their products, their footprint, the forestation, all of it. And that's what's smart about it. And okay, it's a long ad, it's 10 minutes. You can say, well, they can do that, but it's very good storytelling.
It's not an ad. It's an environment or a sustainability report. Because the typical medium for this is probably a shareholders report that thick, going, everybody read this and come to us with questions in the understanding and the knowledge that probably only the hardcore people are really going to go through it to the nth degree. And all of those questions will have already been pre-answered, but a lot of it's kind of in a very boring overwritten, overthought through, over sanctimonious document. This is the equivalent of that. And that's why I think it's powerful, because what they're doing is saying, here's what you normally get. We're condensing it, we're putting it out, and we're putting it at the heart of one of our biggest launches of the year, because it's important to us to put this out to our consumers and our competitors.
I haven't seen, and I don't know if they have, but I think it lends itself to fantastic sound bites as well, if they do break it down into smaller chunks. And I think that's what's clever about it too. I haven't seen if they've done that, but I can see it leans that way, and they can absolutely build on this. I'm sure they have. And
there was lots of things that weren't covered in there. You can always say, well, where do you stop? Where do you stop? Because the next, you could go down every avenue and turn what is one specific message about, let's say for argument's sake, sustainability, and not supply chain or not product making. Keep the message very focused. They do say there's still more work to be done, and I'm sure that they will find the other areas of work that need to be done. There's plenty of things that they wouldn't have put in that video because they wouldn't be palatable. They've got to work on that too. That doesn't excuse it in this video, but I think that's another conversation that they need to have and people need to prod. And I think it's good that it gets prodded, because once you stick your head over the parapet and do a video like this, it opens up more of a debate on other areas that you need to work at.
Yeah. And I like the tone of it. They are saying ultimately there's work to be done, but what they have committed to and what they are addressing, they're addressing in a very strong way, very factual, very clear deadlines. But yes, there's more work to be done, as with anything. But I think it's setting the path, as I say, for others. It's setting a fantastic example. There are many other companies doing stuff, but Apple have taken that brave step to show as much as they can in that space of time and hit some of it head on. So I admire them for that.
Would you sign off this activation in its current form? Yes or no? 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Scott, Emma, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you all next week.